think we went back to the basics a bit with this record, where we went back to the things that we started with when we first started out, like the kind of records we were referencing and the kind of influences we were referencing. So there was a kind of a clear idea of what we were going to do and also what we weren't going to do. We realised that we were going to kind of work on it quite a lot at home and record it ourselves, pretty much produce it ourselves. That was kind of really quite important this time around.
The process started, it kind of started on the tour bus. I just kept finding beats and things that we'd done like years before, you know. They're just lurking around, you know, so it's pretty much like you're finding, like when you find money down the back of a sofa, you know, I was finding beats, you know, definitely buried on my drives.
If I finish a song, I'm always like, if it's a song for the heavy, and you know, it's Kelv's my kind of litmus test, I'll send it to him, and then if I get a good response from him, then we'll work on it together, and he'll take it further with, you know, the way he's going to sing it, or the way he sees it production-wise, and the way he'll bring something to it that I don't see, which is also great. He's a great kind of sounding board.
I love freestyle, you know. I love freestyle, so that's the way that I'll work. You know, we'll make a beat, you know, and it's freestyling is just jamming, isn't it? So it's, you know, and I'll find myself just going crazy in my studio at home, and with myself and Dan, when we actually get us both together in a room, it's, you know, something magical happens. You know, we tweak each other's songs, and you know, we give them more personality.
Well, yeah, obviously with Kelv being in America now, that's kind of tends to put a bit of a spanner in the works when it comes to band practice. But we never really. We've never been that kind of band anyway.
The way we work is not glamorous. These records aren't made in big studios, you know. It's all in sheds and, you know, no toilets and that kind of thing.
We'd just share ideas with each other. We'd work on something individually until we'd feel as if it sounded like something for the heavy. And then we'd just present it to each other whenever we'd get together, or we'd just send it, you know, email, Skype, FaceTime, you know. It's so easy to do that nowadays.
You know, we start with a riff, we might start with a beat. As much as we had like an ocean between us, we were still working, you know, and we've kind of developed a very, very good way of working where we just send each other snapshots, and then we just put them together and just see where we're at, you know. But I think with this process on this record, we kind of came from two areas and said, oh, we could do this or we could do this, and then we just put them together and made something that is mighty. It feels mighty to me.
Things have changed a lot in some respects. There's a bigger structure around what we do. We still kind of work a lot in the same way, you know. We all pretty like DIY the way we make records. You know, it gets bigger and bigger, and you just get on with making music. So that's the way I like it. It's like nice and simple. Focus on doing what you do well.
I feel almost the same as I did when I was like 18. I feel like I'm technically the same. I do the same things. I'm the same person. I'm a father now with 2 kids, and I'm married and really happy, but I do the same thing. I get up and I play my guitar, and I still love it. You know, I still feel enthused by it and excited by it.
Yeah, I just think as a band, we've grown as a family. It's a very cool family to be in.
As a band, I think because everyone's always listening to different stuff, and sometimes you don't deliberately have influences that just come straight onto it. So, I mean, personally, I really like to listen to music from the 60s, which I think is something that we all share, you know. I think so many of them always have that sort of hip-hop influence underpinning them. You know, that's always been a big thing for us, having the big beats. And sometimes Kelv's delivery is kind of hip-hop in nature, you know, it's all sort of sliced up.
The influences on this record. I would say I was listening to a lot of Beastie Boys, Tribe Called Quest. I was listening to a lot of George Clinton, Atomic Dog kind of era. I definitely had hip-hop in my head, just in terms of the thump and the beats, you know. The beats just definitely need to be harder than we've ever kind of gone before. The songs on this record are so strong, and they're so geared toward audience participation. I think these songs, there are hooks all over it.
That's a big part of it for us, I think, is playing live. Obviously, we're lucky to have a frontman who's very, very charismatic on stage and really involves the audience. So that, I think, will be a given for us live. I would expect it to be very loud and very sweaty.
It excites me to know that we're going to have a party because there's going to be so much sing-along.
All the influences that we used to have, you know, like the Beastie Boys and stuff like that, that's what we started off doing, and, you know, just trying to make what we used to do bigger and bolder than it was.
I can't wait to play this whole record out, really. Any size venue, it's gonna kick ass.
I got the whole damn stick in my hand. I got cold when the heart of a man got